I hadn't seen Victor Caldwell is 13 years. Not since the night my father was dragged out of our home, framed for embezzlement, and left to rot in prison. Not since my mother wept herself to death. And not since the Caldwell family empire swallowed my family's name whole. Victor was my father's partner, best friend, or so we thought. But greed changes men, and betrayal leaves a taste in your mouth that never quite fades. I was 17 when I watched my father's reputation collapse. But now, at 30, I stood in Victor Caldwell's glass tower. A coffee in my hand, a resume forged with surgical precision, and a smile so fake it could have won an Oscar. Mr. Caldwell will see you now, his secretary chirped. The same woman who had once fired my mother from her assistant role without severance. I walked into the lion's den. But I wasn't prey anymore. Victor looked older, grayer, but power still clung to him like cologne. His office screamed wealth, glass walls, modern art, and a view of the city that made you feel like God. Miss Gray, is it? He asked, extending a hand. I shook it. Evelyn Gray, marketing analyst, Harvard, 7 years at Roth & King. Lies, all of it, but beautifully constructed lies. Impressive, he said, skimming my file. We could use someone like you. You already did, I thought. You used my father. Over the next year, I became indispensable. I worked late, delivered results, and earned his trust like a good soldier. He started asking for my opinion in board meetings. I watched how he operated, calculated, cruel, always 2 moves ahead. But he had one weakness. He never suspected the help. I planted seeds carefully, subtle inconsistencies in financial reports, deals that led to dead ends, emails crafted with anonymous flair, all pointing to one thing: embezzlement. Again, this time, I was the puppeteer. By the time Victor caught wind, the auditors were already circling. Anonymous tips had reached regulatory agencies. News outlets were sniffing around. His legacy was a ticking bomb. What's happening? He snapped in a meeting. Where's this leak coming from? I sat across from him, face unreadable. Looks internal, sir. Could be someone from accounting. He nodded, distracted, already plotting. Blame. The fall was slow and sweet. I watched shareholders demand explanations. I watched his lawyers scramble. I watched his empire crumble like ashes in a storm. And then, I mailed the letter. It was handwritten, on cream paper. The same kind my father used for correspondence. Greater than Dear Victor, you may not remember me, but I remember everything. 13 years ago, you framed an innocent man to save your name. You left a family broken, a mother in grief, and a child without a future. I was that child, and I've spent every day since learning how to become your equal, so I could destroy you. This time, there are no scapegoats. No shadows to hide behind. Your sins have caught up with you. Sincerely, Evelyn Clark, daughter of Thomas Clark, your last honest partner. He showed up at my apartment 3 days later, disheveled, unhinged, afraid. He breathed. You did this. I didn't let him in. You took everything. He shouted. No, I said. You did. I just made sure the world saw it this time. Your father, he was weak. I smiled. No, he was good. And you mistook goodness for weakness. He stared at me like I was a ghost. Maybe I was. He never recovered. The company filed for bankruptcy. Investigations ensued. His face splashed across news sites. Another corporate fall from grace. He tried to flee, but the authorities were waiting. They always are. A year later, I stood by my father's grave, flowers in hand. The headstone had been worn by time, but the name, Thomas Clark, still shone with dignity. I kept my promise, I whispered. The wind stirred. Somewhere far away, a siren echoed.